everybody, welcome to Lisa's Art Room. Today we're going to be working some more on my Wild and Muted junk journal. Y'all come in and say hi, let me know you're here. We are currently live on Facebook if you see the little red button at the top left. If not, you're catching a replay either here or over on YouTube. I'm going to get you guys pulled up so I can see chat. Alright, let's see. Check the volume. Hopefully the volume is okay. I think so. Alright, so today we're going to be working on a pharmacy bag pocket. It's one of the pages in the journal, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I've got a slight plan. So I'm waiting to get a few people on here. I want to just let you guys know that we are about to get hit with the storm, so hopefully I won't lose power. But if I do, I will probably not see you until the next live, which will be Wednesday, because it's a pretty big storm. So if it knocks out our internet, I won't get back on tonight. So let's see. I think we are good. Just waiting to see if anybody was going to come on. I see Dawn. All right. Looks like Dawn's here. Okay. Hey, Dawn. I'm going to go ahead and pull the camera up top and we'll get started. And I know you missed it, Dawn, but I was just saying that we are about to get hit with a storm. So if I lose power, I will just see you guys on Wednesday. But I will, hopefully we won't lose power or internet or any of the above. All right, so 1 second while I move this camera. All right, focus. Camera. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I hate storms. It's like I was looking at the weather thing and it looks like a nasty one too. There were a couple of tornado warnings in it. So hopefully it won't be too bad, but I don't know. Unfortunately, it's getting to be that time of the year. All right, so I think if I don't top you out, so it's in this signature. And just want to do this pharmacy bag. First step I usually do is cut it and fold it correctly. Think about, let's see, I want this to be about 4.5 maybe. All right, that's about right. I'm just going to try to get it to about 4.5, maybe 5. Still have to cut this and fold it over too, so think about there. See how much of that I can save. First step is just to fold it over. It's just going to be a simple pocket, but I like to reinforce it a little bit. in order to do that, I'm going to attempt to fold this under. Let's see if I can figure out how to do it easily. Just open the whole thing up probably. And I'm just going to do about a, I don't know, maybe a 1/2 inch fold all the way under. Just go all the way around. Gives me a little better edge to work with so that it doesn't rip so easily. This side. A little bit crooked. Try my best to get it to match. And once I think I've got that approximately right, now glue it. Hey, Lori. Just gonna use glitter. And just work my way around and glue it. Get it off. There. All right, there's that side. Now we have that strengthened. Okay, and then we're just going to figure out what we're going to cover it with. So I'm going to use those papers I keep hinting at using. I keep saying I'm going to, and then I don't. So I just went through and picked some out that I thought would work. And then I've got some cards that I printed from this is from the Nature's Neutrals set that I got, the digital set, by Ink and Page. And so I just printed out a few that were the right direction. There actually weren't that many that were horizontal. Most of them were vertical. But, so I have a few of those. And then I'm going to use this because I think it will go well with the bag. So the question is, what pictures? So we need a picture here. So, and I'm just going to cut it down to fit. But we have, so I'm going to lay out my choices and y'all can help me decide. So we've got a bear, a squirrel, a rabbit, a zebra. Make sure I'm on screen. Okay, so we have some animals, some raccoons, a couple of raccoons. So that's the animal choices, if we want to go with animals. And then I've got, trying to figure out where to put this, maybe there. No good way to do it. Some birds, so I've got some hummingbirds, some bluebirds, a little kestrel, looks like a robin. I know this bird, but I'm blanking on it. And that one. So there's birds. I want to do some birds. So, and then we've got a few mushrooms. A few different mushrooms. And I only found like 3 of those, so I don't have enough for the whole thing, although I could probably find one more if I tried real hard. So, do you guys have something you want to see? Do you want to see some birds? Do you want to see some of the cute animals? Mushrooms? Like I said, the interior cards I have are these. It doesn't really have to match perfectly or anything. They're mostly plants. There is one fox. I don't think there's a lot of animals. A couple of bird things. There's a feather and a bird in a nest, and then just some florals and leaves and stuff. So they're mostly pretty neutral as far as even the design. So I'm not real worried about what goes in the pocket. So I do want the outsides though to kind of look, you know, similar. So I don't know if you see something that you really like. Animals. I do like the little raccoons. I thought about using those. Or at least maybe just one of them. What do you think? Raccoons, birds, combination thereof. So the front, each page, we need four images total. So, of the raccoons, do you like this one or this one? Or do you just want me to use one on one side and one on the other side and just use raccoons? Or like a raccoon and, I don't know, any of the above? Any thoughts? And then if I did the back one with birds, I could do any 2 of these. The kestrel's pretty cute. They're all cute, but I get a lot of songbirds. You know, I typically do a lot of those. I don't do so many raptors. So what do you think? Dawn says she loves them all. That's usually what she says. Let's see. So if I did the back with birds, I could do the kestrel. I could even just split that, but I don't think it's going to quite hit right. So the kestrel and maybe there is blue on the page next to it. It's a darker blue. So there's coffee dyed and blue. None of these really have a lot of blue. There's a little bit in this bluebird one. I would have preferred to have found maybe some that had a little more blue, but I didn't really see a lot. This one's got a little bit of blue in it. So if we wanted to stick with blue, I could do that, but I really kind of like this little kestrel. So I could do one of each. Maybe the kestrel and one of these other birds. Either these little bluebirds or that robin one. I think they're long enough. Where'd I put it? I bury it. I didn't bury it. Oh, there it is. Let's make sure they're long enough, because it does get shorter when I do that. I think they're long enough. That one's kind of close. I know the kestrel will fit for sure. Yeah. And then I think this one will fit still. Yeah. I think that one fits fine. So I could do these two. I know they don't have blue. I don't really care. It's not a big deal what's on the other page, because I can add other colors to the blue to make it match more. So far I'm leaning toward these. I think. Yeah, that one, I think that one's just too wide. That one's pretty wide too. A lot of these birds are just a little too wide, so maybe these two, and then maybe a raccoon. I just don't know if I want to do just one raccoon and something else. Probably should do just one raccoon and something else. Maybe I can decide if I like the one with the little newspaper clipping more. It is cute. They'll fit about the same. So if I do this one, I could do, I don't do zebras a lot. The squirrel's almost too big. He's pretty big. Two birds, a raccoon, squirrel. You like the squirrel? Let's see if he'll fit. He might fit. Two birds, raccoon, squirrel. Yeah, I think he'll fit. I wasn't sure. He looked a little big, but I think he's fine. So, squirrel and raccoon. All right, squirrel, raccoon, and the two birds. All right. Oh my goodness, it feels like it's 100 degrees in here. I had to turn my air conditioner on. It's so weird. It went from cold to hot. So then we just got to tear them out to fit. And I think I'm just going to tear them, because I think I'm going to let the bag show just slightly. And I think I'm going to put these on here. I'm not sure. I don't want it to go through. I'm going to have to use a piece of plastic in between just in case the glue goes through. I have this little, it's just a piece of plastic from the watercolor pencils, I think, but it happens to fit just fine in this bag. So I want to use this so that the glue doesn't glue the two pages together while we're doing it. Sometimes that happens. And they're pretty thin. I think, I'm debating on the glue. I might go with glue stick or Barely Art. I almost would rather brush it on like a decoupage, like a matte medium. I just don't know if it'll be take too long to dry. I don't really want to have to wait for it to dry. So I might just go with this Barely Art because it'll dry faster than the matte medium. As long as we don't get too many, lines. I don't want lines. I think this is thick enough I won't get the lines. So let's try that. Hopefully it works out. If I do the first one and it's just awful, then I'll rethink it. Debating if I'm going to cut this little notch off. I might. It's gonna be a pain. Alright, so got a little plastic piece. And I just like to stick it in there just to keep it from, like I said, the glue going through. I should round those because I wonder if there's no way I'm rounding that with my thing. But I am going to round them just because it will help it go in without tearing it. I don't want it to tear. There. It's pretty sharp on that edge. All right, that should be better. So, and I'm just making sure that I am above the fold. I don't want to be down here because then it still might stick to this little piece right there. So I want to make sure that I'm above that fold. Okay. And then put that like that. And then we're going to tear out our image. So we'll just start with, which one do I want on the front? Let me look at the direction. So if this opens this way, the squirrel looking into the right. I think the squirrel will work best on the other side. We'll do the raccoon here. So I'm going to try to figure out where I want to tear it. I think I'm going to get fairly close to this top edge, take off just a little bit, and then it should be about where this newspaper is. I don't know, I might can get away with leaving that whole top edge. But I want a torn edge, so I'm going to tear it anyway. So pretty much just under that, and then on the left to right, we could probably just take off a little on each side. Might take off a little more on this side. So maybe about, where's my chalk pencil? Is it sitting here? There it is. About, I'm coming just inside the bag. It's about here and here. And then this way, I'll mark it after because I'm going to tear it off. Alright, so I'm going to use my tearing ruler this time instead of trying to do it by hand. Should save these. These little pieces work good when you just want something to sit on, like a ground surface. I have a whole envelope full of them, but it does work good. I'll do this side. There. And like I said, just a fraction off the top. using my grid to try to get somewhat straight. And let's check our size. Let's do this side because I can't see that side. All right. Yeah, I have tried so hard to stop biting my nails. Nothing ever works. It's very frustrating sometimes. All right, so that'll be cute there. And then, should I go ahead and tear out the next one or not? Just do it one at a time. I guess I'll do it one at a time. All right, so ink, probably so. We should probably ink. Grab my ink. On this whole thing. This isn't going to show up a whole lot on this paper, but that way just my edges are even, because some of them actually have some white edges and some of them have the other. It depends on which direction I tore, and I didn't really think too much about it when I was doing it, so. I think I need to worry too much. I don't really care if the bag shows, because to me that just, you know, shows I use junk, and I look kind of like that, so we'll leave it like that. And then I guess I'll put the glue on here, and we'll hope this Barely Arts works well. It says it doesn't warp as bad when using on thin papers, so like I said, I'm kind of new to it. I have been hesitant about trying it, so, because honestly I just love the art glitter so much. But we'll see how this works. Okay, let's see. See if we went through any. I don't see any glue. Looks okay. I don't see any going through. I'll still put it on there, but just I just prefer to do that. It's just safer. So next side will be the squirrel. It also kind of keeps it nice and stiff for you. Like I said, these bags are pretty thin. Okay. Do something real quick. Make sure I get his little feet. I think I can do it about here. See what that looks like. That should be all right. It's hard to see. It's really hard to see. The color doesn't show up very well. grid about there. Make sure I'm about the right spot. He's just gonna fit. And then sideways. I'm gonna try to keep that little flower on there. Okay. Make sure it fits. I think this will be cute. I like using these little pharmacy bag pockets. I think they're cute. They're fairly simple. I mean, there's not really a lot to them, but you know, sometimes simple's better. In the right direction. Trying to make sure I get these edges. We're going to have it say, please recycle this bag. Alright, there's that side, and the other side is the little birds. Pull our plastic out because I don't think that's an issue. It doesn't seem to be going through. Yeah, it's not going through. Nothing on my plastic. So that's good. And we'll put this little Kestrel birdie on first. So make sure I get that branch. I can do it. Out here, just under his tail, maybe a little bit higher. Go about there, and the storm is here. I hear it. And sideways. always do that. I always tear off the mark. And I'm like, oh. I'm gonna try to get the tiniest piece off of that, but we'll see how that goes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Birdie. That's good. I'm debating if I'm going to put a backing on those cards. Maybe a little writing space backing. I think I will. I just have to find some lined paper that works. Okay, that's good. And last one. Yeah, I'm over it. Didn't feel like it was for a second there. Try not to hit his head. It's a close fit. Fraction off of there and about here. be tax time, my least favorite time of the year. I do not like doing business tax stuff. It is annoying. I usually try to start at least a month ahead of time so that I can get it done, because it's a lot. Any of you have self-employed stuff, you know what I mean. It's too much work. I hate it. I don't even have that big of a business, really. And it's still a lot of work. I'm just trying to do inventory stuff today. Most of that done. All right. Cute little pockets, and I don't always close these. I usually just leave them open. Sometimes I'll make a little closure for them, but honestly it's not usually necessary. They usually will, the stuff will stay in the pockets pretty well. So let's see what this looks like in here. Was. This is going to go like that. And then I'll do something with this page. I don't know what. Something fairly simple, I think. And then later I'll do that. I don't know when I'm doing that either. Wake up. Let's decide on cards. So for this one, I could put a couple in each. Doesn't have to just be one. Hopefully I didn't make these too big. I printed them out earlier today. I do the little fox. So these have more colors that match, but I think I'm going to do the little, maybe this and this for this pocket. And then the other one's got more bird type stuff on it, so I'll do that one on the other one. So let's cut these out. I'll decide if I want to back them. I might back them. Let's see if the size fits okay. I feel like they might be a fraction long. Especially if I'm going to back it too, I'll have it, it'll be bigger. If I put a frame on it. I don't have to put a frame on it. I could just put an even amount. For right now, let me just look at this and see how it fits. Okay, so it goes all the way in. Okay, I could probably back it. I think I will. This is just plain, so we'll back them with something. Pick something up. Angela. So what shall I back that with? I grabbed some papers. Let's see if I have anything in here. Packaging. Let's see anything in that. We have tab bases. It's kind of thick. I don't know if I want to go that thick. Mixture of background things. They're all pretty thick. It's so dark. If I have a file folder that's a good color. A lot of these are just plain. Any Stamperia papers. There's a few lined papers, but I don't think they're thick at all. I think these are all pretty thin. And if I did this would just be to cover up the whole thing. Just have line space on it. Could do that. It's a possibility. What's that? Oh, it's cow. No. I'd rather it be coffee dyed. Some index cards. Huh, those fit. Just some coffee dyed index cards. Could do that. Maybe I'll do that. It wouldn't give it a border, but it doesn't necessarily have to have a border. Could just make it exact, maybe round off the corners. It would just make it into a good writing surface, especially since this is somewhat thick. So maybe I'll do that. So I'll do 4 of those. 1, 2, 3. Pick one without. Can leave that one. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. So back it with these. I just need to cut out the birds. So 2 there, 2 of these, and get the one with the bird stuff on it. it. How about this one's just a feather. Maybe these two. Yeah, I think so. One. You gonna say hi to me? See, my sister's lurking. She never says anything. These two and these two, and we're going to put these on there, and then I'll just trim it probably after I glue it on. I'll put glue on that. Just the two edges, and I'll only have to trim one or two depending. Let that dry for a second. And do this one. I'm the right way. I hadn't even thought about that. Hopefully that was the right way on the other one. I didn't look. Hopefully it was. Which one is this? Oh. What are you doing? I'm losing my mind. Alright, there. Try that again. Yeah, I did it the right way. Good. It's not a huge deal, I guess, just lines, but it does have like a red line at the top, so probably a better idea to keep it straight. You can never tell how much of the storms we'll get. It's kind kind of like we're in this weird, I don't know, it's not really a valley, but it almost seems that way sometimes. Sometimes the storms would just go around us, which is good in my opinion, but I suppose we need the rain sometimes. I just don't like storms. And we'll trim them and get them in there and see how everything looks. Like I said, fairly simple project, easy to do. Save your pharmacy bags. Recycle your stuff. These index cards you can get at the Dollar Tree. Bring them home. Coffee, tea dye on something. Avocado dye on. Onion skins, whatever you like. Honestly, I think I prefer a coffee tea mixture. Coffee sometimes I feel like is too dark and tea is too light. I kind of like the mixture of the two. So a lot of times I'll do that. Make sure I'm in the right direction. Pick up my fingers. Can you guys hear that thunder? I don't know how much comes through the camera. Alright. Let's start with the first one. It should be dry by now. Let me put my pen back in before it dries out. My fingers are a little sticky. Okay, so we're just going to cut it with our scissors. And you just let your scissors kind of guide along the edge. Pretty easy to do. Best with long scissors. Maybe I'll ink it. I might grab a different ink color. Cards back so that they can be little journaling cards. Should I do the edges? I should. I guess. Sometimes they just go in easier if you round the edges. That I don't think. The question is, are these dry enough to do? This one's still a little bit cold, so. This is not my corner rounder. This is my corner rounder. Yeah, it'll work. Wow, that hurts my thumb. I was thinking my tendonitis hadn't been bothering me that much, but actually I guess it still is. I just hadn't noticed it. Do it a different way. That squeezing was getting to me. It's noisier, so I apologize. Okay. vintage is going to show up. Might. Oh, it shows up fine. Okay. A lot better than it was on the other thing. There, that's pretty. There we go. These will be cute. Cute little journaling cards. Relatively easy to make. And I know this page is a little grungier than the rest of the journal, but I still feel like it fits in with the wild and muted. It's still muted tones, even if it's a little more grungy. So I decided to just go ahead and go for it. I've been trying to stay, you know, in the theme. Go. So I'll probably make this a short live just because I still need to cook dinner. Hubby's been working a lot of late nights, so our dinner schedule got all weird. Eating way too late. Alright, so we want the fox and the leaf. So I'll put these two in this front pocket. And they're just going to go in there, okay? And then these two will go in the back pocket with the birds and go either direction, but we'll put it this direction. And then it goes in our journal, like so. Sure. Closes better if it's in the middle. Like that. And when you do sew this in, you have to make sure that it is where you want it when you're sewing. So that's something to keep in mind for later, is that, you know, it can be higher or it can be lower depending on what you do with this bottom page, as long as you want at least 2 of the threads catching. So, and you could glue it a little bit right there at the edge if you wanted. It wouldn't hurt anything really. Sometimes I'll do that just to make sure it doesn't move, but that is important that at least 2 of the threads catch it. And usually I've been doing the 5-hole pamphlet, so it usually is not an issue. I don't know what I want to do with this back page. Not 100% sure. Might have a stencil or something. Probably. Well, I know I do. I've got a billion stencils, so I definitely have one. Just have to figure out which one I want to use. Let's see what do I got here handy. If I want to use a stencil or something. Dots, some sunflower scallops, pine cones. just go with something kind of neutral. And then maybe put a word or something. I kind of like that. All my Halloween ones are down there. They didn't get put back in their proper spot. Tiles, stars. Yeah. Let's go with that one. And probably maybe just a brown. I don't know if I want to go with vintage. Well, it's probably the lightest brown I have, really. I'll probably just, maybe I'll brush it on. It won't be so dark. So I'm going to take this out if I can. I don't know what's on the other side of it. Anything? Oh, nothing yet. All right. I can't pick it up. All right. Make sure I'm the right way. All right. This side. Just use a brush. Use this one. And some ink. Try not to be exact on that edge there. I don't want it to really show a line. So I'm not going all the way up to it. I'd rather it be more, you know, kind of loose and generic. And over here. As long as you don't go all the way up to your edges, you won't have that sharp edge there, and it will blend in just fine. Okay, so that's just a good overall look, I think. I'll do this side too. It should be the same on that side, yeah. Let's see where it heads, I can't remember. Like this. So the other side would be both of them. So this one and no, not that one. Okay, so just this side. So we'll do this one and then that'll be something else later. So just this side. It's subtle. I didn't take the page out, so it's not quite flat. That's why I use all these weird bumps. It's not a big deal because I don't necessarily want it to be perfect. All right, so there's that. Let's back in. There we go. So that'll look good there, I think. That works for a background on there. Makes it. This I'll decorate later. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. And possibly do a word or something. I've got some words floating around here. So these just clean up water. Just take a wet rag and literally just wipe them off. Usually I'd lay it on something, but just wipe it off. Cleans off real easy. Always do your front and your back. Okay. Easy peasy. Alright. And let's see. What was I looking for? Words. That's what it was. Let's see if we see anything that looks good. Nature is not a place to visit, it is home. That of course works. Seek adventures. I think I like that one. The blue will work with the other side. Let's do that. So, there's quite a few nature inspired ones on here, so a lot of them would work. I don't like the way they overlapped these though. It kind of makes cutting them out a pain. Alright, let's write that. Anything else? On the other one I could do leave footprints of love and kindness, collect moments, not things. Nah, that doesn't really work. Creativity, dare to be different. Nature never goes out of style. Could do that one. The world is yours to explore works. Let's do nature never goes out of style on the other one. Don't think it's too long. Decide if I want to back these labels. They're kind of small. It's going to be too long. Alright. Okay, so that'll be on one. So I got that weird little corner because it was overlapped. I really don't like it. Can't quite get all of it off of there, but I might can get some. It's not very straight, but it's not a big deal. There. Alright. So that. So I want to put one on one and one on the other. The question is, back it or don't back it. Sometimes they look better if you back them with something. Tempted to back it with some blue or something. Let me see what I have in some of the papers I've already cut out. Let's find a scrap. I think this possibly a blue. Blue gonna work. It's not the best. It's a little off. What about a piece of coffee dyed folder? What would that look like? Let's see. Nope, I don't like that. Maybe something darker. I could just use a solid piece of that paper from the other page. Maybe I'll do that. Sorry, I'm digging. Alright, where's those blues? Is it this pile? I think it's this pile. Alright, let's see. Is it in here? It's a little bit different, I think. Can't tell if it's that blue or different. I think it's a different blue. It's probably from this one. No. Well, I guess it is that one. So do I use just a piece of that? Or maybe a slightly different shade? I don't think I want brown. Is this slightly darker? It might be too bright though. I think it's too bright. Okay, so maybe I'll just use a piece of this. Let's see what that looks like underneath there. It'll tie it into the other page. There might be a way to tie it in. I'm going to cut it on the thing just so I'm straight, but I'm going to mark it. There. Might have to trim it down just a fraction. Like the brown one there. Just not too big. Rain is really coming down. small as I can so it doesn't go off the edge of the page. Alright, so do this one. I can do it either place, so is that better with the raccoon? This one with this? I think so. I think the brown's better with the raccoon. It's got more brown in it. Alright, so we'll do the brown one there. Just gotta glue them on. Very crooked. See if I can move it. Honestly, the thing is cut out crooked, so it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be close enough. I'll probably ink it too. Just the blue. My cutter's getting dull. It's giving me a rough edge. When it starts getting dull, I start getting this kind of shredded edge. I keep saying I'm going to replace it, and I haven't yet. It's not even that I don't have blades, because I do. It would probably help if I was doing this on my table instead of on the journal. Move it just ever so slightly. Is it gonna move? Nope. Fine. Don't move. Once it's down, it's down. That's the way art glitter is. There. Alright. Some ink on there. Blends a little better. This should finish it off enough to call it done. Okay, there's one. It's a lot of rain. The backyard's going to be flooded. Okay. And we're just going to glue it near the top. Relatively straight. All right, there. That works. And if I decide later I want to add more, I can, but for right now, this is sufficient. what is under that. Something bumpy in this one. Oh, it's the zipper. It's like, man, it's a big old bump. Alrighty. That is it. Okay. Let's see what we got. So this is our page. I think it looks good. Look at that. We got our 2 little journaling cards in there. And on the other side, little birdies and 2 little journaling cards. All right. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that. It's just a simple way to decorate a pharmacy envelope. A couple of pockets. All right, guys. That is it for tonight. I will be back on Wednesday and we'll work on the Real Life mini restaurant. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.